Hello.
So,
Do you mind if we take some pictures?
go ahead, go ahead.
So you're trying to kind of take the place back to original?
Yeah, that is my husband.
Yeah,
So this is all new.
at some point, somebody tried to bring the house more modern, make it more modern, but it was so long ago, and they kind of did it halfway, and so now I'm trying to bring it back to the way it was originally, more like antique style, and I'm trying to do a little better job. So your grandparents and great grandparents used to live here, right?
Yes, my great grandfather built this house.
Oh,
Wow.
Now, I'm wondering if you know who the builder was.
I don't.
Do you
I was
know
hoping you were
what-
going to tell me.
Do you know what year the house was?
1880.
Thank you. I did not know that.
But you've been in this house before, right?
Oh, yes.
When you were a little girl or a baby?
So, yeah, that would have been in the late
to a
30s.
teen. So, help me out here. And somebody who
What do
had
you
a
want?
pen. Yeah, the date that he says was built.
Oh, I don't have a pen.
Wait,
I have
what?
a pen.
Yeah, can we have a pen?
Just write it up here. There.
1880. I'll remember, but
No, but write it down.
Yeah, we will. Okay, what did you?
So you say the house was built.
According to the ad when I bought the house in the real...
Did they even tell you who the contractor was?
No.
Because he was a farmer.
Mm-hmm.
Your great-grandfather.
Samuel was a farmer who moved from Mount Bethel and had this house built. I don't think the farmer built the house. I don't think,
Well, you never know.
you never know. I don't know.
But I'm wondering if the original plot took up the whole block and they made it smaller than it was originally. That's one of the things I'm wondering. Because this is a half acre now.
This is the whole house. It was
No, the property, because he owned across the street, the barn and stuff.
Yes, and he owned that house next door.
Oh, wow.
So the apartment building over there was a barn that
Oh.
belonged to this house.
That's what I was wondering, yeah.
Yeah.
Right, and isn't that where you said Grandma and Granddad lived for a while, right?
No.
Or is that a different barn?
No,
Mm-hmm.
no, you're getting it
Different
wrong.
barn. Okay, whatever.
didn't they live across the street though? Is that what you're mentioning? Like, that's what I saw or remember you telling me that.
Our grandfather Jones
yours-
lived up the street.
Yeah.
Right, but that's not what I'm referring to.
Okay.
So was that road here when the barn was there?
Oh, yes.
Okay,
yes.
so part of the property they owned was on this side of the street and part was on that side of the street.
Correct.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we just knocked down this wall.
Okay, yeah, that's absolutely gorgeous. I wanted to go over here and see the fireplace.
Yeah.
Well,
This is we
she
open
has
it
macular
before it's-
degeneration. As well, so she doesn't see
It's
it.
long.
It was really a
She's-
part.
That's right.
She's
yes,
89.
Yes. And then when we bought this
The fireplace
one,
was
this
boxed in, it was
closed
sheetrocked in. I didn't even
because,
know there was a
this is
fireplace
the
there.
Office. So this like the community center.
Community Psychological Center, yeah.
Yes. So
This door, what's this door?
that is a closet.
It's just a closet, yeah.
Just a closet.
Yes.
Because I don't think there was just one set of steps up to the upstairs, right? There was never a back steps and front steps.
Well, there was a fire escape, but I think that was added much more recently.
That was put on by the previous owner, that fire escape, because this was like a public place down there.
Right.
Whatever they did. Yeah.
But I was wondering about the stairs too, because it doesn't look like this was the original setup. And I doubt if look how big this room is.
Yes.
I doubt if it was like this originally.
Yes.
And there's a weird thing in the floor here,
that,
and it makes me wonder if there was a stairs here before.
I don't think so. No, I never. Oh boy.
You said they used to dance in this room.
Yes.
Oh.
So that implies it was a big room.
Right. They
And
wrote-
I thought there was a picture of it too. But
I don't know that we have a picture, but yes, my mother grew up here. She moved here. She was a teenager, 12 years old when she moved here. Yeah. and they did a lot of music and entertaining. And
So do we.
have documentation that they rolled up the carpets, and this was dancing, and that's the only staircase that I ever knew.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And this was the original back wall, and they added this on afterwards. But I'm wondering how much after this part was built did they add on? I don't think it was that long. Maybe even the same year or 5 or 10 years later. But then this extension was put on much more recently.
Yes,
maybe
in the 50s, I think.
that's what I was going to say. Yeah.
Ernest Churchill did that. Are you familiar with the Churchills?
No.
That name
He's
doesn't
not
mean
from,
anything.
you guys aren't from the area, are you?
No.
Yeah.
So you just, can I walk back here?
Please do.
'Cause I was here when they put this addition on.
So, did Terzo own the home at that time? Who put this on?
Churchill.
Terzo owned the home and put this on.
Yes.
Yes.
That's the only extension that I ever knew of being put on.
Oh, because I didn't recognize this. I knew something was weird because, like, right here, this was when I first bought this house. There were shelves, built-in shelves right here, but obviously it was converted from a window to shelves.
Because they had offices. They had a couple offices, private, like rooms they could consult with people here.
Oh, well, yeah.
I mean, like even in here, because I was here about 6 years ago, 7 years ago. And I came in, I was just astounded because they had an
Yeah.
office over here. That's how it must
Yeah,
have been
yeah.
when you bought it.
Yeah.
Yes,
I was
yes.
just shocked.
Yes.
And then he took me through. I didn't back there, and I went upstairs.
But I'm very sure this section of the house, like from here towards here, was built first, and then that was added on. I mean, it may have been added on very shortly after this side was built, but I think definitely it was first this half and then that half.
What would they have done then for a kitchen?
Well, that's what I was wondering.
I
Maybe they were like, "Whoops, we built this house and we forgot to build a kitchen." And then they said, "Okay, let's build a kitchen now."
Are you thinking that because of the foundation, the way the foundation is, or?
Well, that and because who puts 3 layers of bricks on an interior wall, right?
Right.
And if you look upstairs, it's the same thing. And the roof is like a T shape because you got the one part going this way and then one part going that way.
Mm-hmm.
and is that this door to the basement?
Right, right.
Is it basement concrete floor or still dirt?
It's concrete floor, but it's not very thick.
Low ceiling?
Yeah, the ceiling is like 5.5 feet, I would say, maybe 6 feet.
Wow.
Was it dirt when you were
Oh,
last here?
I was never down there. I just assumed that there was a basement. Because, so Samuel had this house built, and he lived in here for a long time. Whether my grandfather was, Samuel had 12 children. My grandfather was number 8, and he was born in this house.
Mhm.
And why am I telling you this? I don't know why.
It's like you.
Yeah.
So I
Okay, Kat.
Yeah.
I just
Can you believe that
I
she's
can't
blind?
conceive of
What's that?
Samuel
He's
adding
blind.
on to
He's
this
blind.
house. I just
Yeah.
Ah,
can't.
so she's feeling.
That's right.
Ah, I see. She's compensating for her sight.
Well, maybe they just originally built it in 2 sections.
Yeah,
It's possible.
it's possible.
Is she able to like feel the way around the
Yes,
house?
yes,
Did she-
because
And
yeah.
this
we
fireplace,
went
the
for here and
the
then
front
we-
is might
you
not
know,
be original,
took the
but
stair
there was originally
and
a
we walked-
fireplace there.
with her.
I wouldn't really know. I don't
you know,
know.
to
Was it,
She can estimate.
was it really a
Yes.
usable
Yes.
fireplace?
When I bought the house, it was already blocked off like this, and I'm not even sure.
But I don't think.
I mean, this is obviously added pretty recently.
Right. This looks like it would be pretty old.
Right. And so my guess is
I have another one, but I don't know.
it was functional at one time. And there was a fireplace on that side too. And the reason why I know is because there's a support for it in the basement.
Well, they probably did, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
So,
Nice,
my grandfather, William,
makes it a calming.
There's one
bought the
here.
house. Samuel dies, and then the house is sold. And some man by the name, and I have it written down, but he had the house for about 2 years. Then my grandfather bought it. And my grandfather was living in New York City. The family did not move here for about 2 years after he bought the house because he had a new furnace put in. Well, heating systems, they called it. So I just have fireplaces. A bathroom. And wooden floors. So I'm thinking there probably were fireplaces to heat the place.
Right. And this floor must have been added after the fireplace was removed. Because they did a pretty good job, you can't even tell. Would you like to see the upstairs?
Sure.
Go for it.
Yeah, go.
I took the handrail out, so be careful.
Be careful.
Like your steps, then. So yeah, so it's logical.
Well, that's
That's a fireplace, because that's how they did those old houses. So, well, we talk about.
And that's not a real fireplace at all. Somebody just stuck some trim on there to make
Oh,
it look like
really?
a fireplace.
To make it like-
On the chimney.
Cheaters.
It's a real chimney, but not a real fireplace.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah.
And if you look closely, you can see there used to be something here. Somebody did a modification. And I think over here, yeah, there used to be a wall here. And so I'm wondering how it used to be.
Uh-huh. But so there's a door. Is that actually a closet?
Yeah.
Which is unusual. Those old closets, they hardly ever had a closet. If they did, it was small.
You can see
Don't you
the
feel it?
shifting. It's
yeah.
You know, the previous owner, I guess the door after a while wouldn't open and close anymore. So he got a new door, which was too tall. And instead of cutting the door, he cut open the doorway so the door would fit. And then when I got here, I rebuilt the header so that it's the way it's supposed to be. 'Cause it was like flapping in the breeze before. It was just
wow.
Did you buy it from Mr. Ruggiero?
yes.
This looks like an original door.
Actually, I bought this on eBay, but
Oh,
I bought
that's-
it because it looks like the original doors.
Yeah.
You do it.
And I stripped
It worked.
10 layers of paint off of it.
Wow.
Because they weren't very thick.
Yeah.
That's pretty
I
cool.
didn't remember those steps being so steep.
Yeah, they really are.
So this has some evidence of modification too. Like in the ceiling, you can see there was something here. And this makes me wonder if there was a staircase or something, or maybe just, I don't know.
Oh, it's a beautiful
And
mirror.
there's an attic.
Beautiful
Is that
pieces.
the attic door?
Yeah, there's not much to
Of
see
course.
up there.
Yeah.
You can take a peek if you want.
Well, I've been up in my nana's attic. I'm familiar with that.
Is this roof original?
No,
Probably not slate.
I had it redone
Oh, you
just
had it
about a
redone.
year ago, and they did a horrible job in getting it redone again.
Oh wow.
Did you have slate put on?
No,
Okay,
shingle,
yeah,
asphalt shingle, yeah.
Yeah, it's very expensive.
Not back in the day though, when the slate
Oh, no.
already was
Well,
right.
right
I
down the
don't, I
street.
don't,
Interesting the way
How are the doorknobs? Are these any original doorknobs?
Those are the ones that came with the house.
Oh, those
They
are
look
cool.
pretty original.
Can you see, Kim?
Like that.
I have very bad eyes, I'm sorry. So I'm very hard to
Those are
Yeah,
really
that's the
cool. They're
same.
like swirly. I've never seen any like that. What?
Well,
Yeah, they're
the paint was
concentric.
terrible. Look at the paint on it.
Yeah.
My wife painted over the brass, which I don't
Oh,
appreciate.
okay, okay.
Oh yeah, because the brass is really cool. It's a cool design. The brass. I haven't seen that.
Look what I did over here.
Yeah, and they're small too.
Yeah.
These hinges I bought,
Those are gorgeous.
Oh, wow.
and they're actually not antiques, but they're just like antiques.
Yeah, they're beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
And the
Oh,
doorknob that I haven't put on yet is a real antique.
Oh, nice.
Those
Let's see
are
if it's-
gorgeous. Are you gonna put those on all of those?
That's the plan, little by little.
Yeah. Beautiful.
See how the floor is different there than it is here? That's another reason why I think this was added on later.
Yeah, it's running different. It's different direction, even.
So I have to assume that this is the bathroom that my grandfather had installed. I'm assuming they took from bedrooms.
That's what I would think, yeah.
Because my uncle, who is younger than my mother, writes that this was a 10-room house. Well, I never could understand that. It's not really a 10-room house. I mean, you know, that was
Not 10
before the
bedrooms,
addition.
maybe 10
Yeah.
rooms altogether.
Yeah.
And those old houses never had bathrooms. That's what they
Yeah.
did. They took from a bedroom and made it to a bathroom. Yeah. Flat roof. Oh, that's the extension.
Right.
That's a flat roof.
I added this light, there was no light here before.
I never had much lighting in the old houses either.
The doctors put, what do you call it, all over the,
Wainscoting.
right.
You had this put on.
The doctors had to put on.
Oh, did he really?
To make it look more like an office, I guess.
Yeah.
This one's not as bad as some of the others.
Why are there's a closet then?
Yeah.
What does that do?
It goes into the other bedroom.
Yeah, that would be logical. That's how they did it.
That's cool.
Yep, that's how they did it.
So the other bedroom. Oh.
Yeah, you can open that.
Well, that's genius. Using hair clips for.
Yeah. That's my wife's invention.
Yeah. I like it.
Bed frames are always like that. I don't know. That's what we had it at the house. The bed frames. That's.
Yeah, this is a real antique bed.
Yeah, yeah.
And this
It's
matches it
handsome.
perfectly.
It does.
Yeah.
It's both handsome. Absolutely handsome.
Beautiful.
Beautiful. Well, I don't know. This puzzles me about this thickness of an extension. I can't see.
I can see this as a 10-room house. I mean, you're not counting bedrooms, you're counting rooms.
Rooms, yeah.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah. There's at least 5 up here, and if there was a wall in there, like you were saying, you know, maybe there could have been an additional room up here yet.
Big house for back then.
It's pretty big for now, too.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for the extension, I mean, the extension makes up for a lot of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you had to have it all repainted?
We did it ourselves.
We did it yourself.
But you know what's interesting? The layers that were on this floor were driving me insane. The carpets were 50 years old, and they were so dirty and moldy and everything. And so we lifted them up, and there was linoleum under there, and then we lifted that up, and there's more linoleum under there. And then, you know, like 5 layers of linoleum. And then under the last one is this thick black glue that they use to glue it down. We had to scrape it off. And then finally we got down to beautiful pine floors.
How long have you been working on it? I mean, you haven't had it that long.
We've been here almost 2 years, and it took
3?
2.
almost 2 years, and it took literally 3 weeks per room just to get the floors like this.
I believe it.
And we didn't do a heavy sanding. We just did a light sanding because they didn't have the regular floor sanding tool available at Home Depot. So we just went around by hand.
Wow. That's
Do
a
you
lot of-
intend
that's a
to
lot of work.
live here?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we're living here now.
Or I didn't know if it was you're flipping or.
No, I love it very much. I don't have any complaints about the house. I mean, I expected it to be as pretty bad, and I wasn't disappointed. But I am a little bit disappointed in some of the contractors I had to deal with, like the stupid roofer that ripped me off, and the window company that ripped me off.
Wow.
But the house is. I love the house.
That's a shame.
Yeah.
Yeah, you really got
Well,
to be
I'm
careful.
delighted that you have it. When I was here about 6 years ago, I was quite concerned because the exterior was getting. I wasn't inside at all
Oh.
that time. The exterior was getting, bad, and you saw all the ivy that was on this wall.
Oh, it's a good thing I got here when I did. The house
Yes.
was about to fall down.
Yes.
The ivy was like this thick on the outside, and the trunks of it were like this. And it was like going in between the bricks and inside the windows. It wrapped itself around the chimney and almost ripped the chimney off the roof.
Wow.
And the insurance company told me I was going to leave the ivy on because I like ivy, but the insurance company said I had to take it off. And I think that was good that they told me to take it off.
I think it's amazing that the original wrought iron fencing exists outside all around it. That's
Yeah, I love that
amazing
fence, yeah.
fencing.
Yeah, and I have a lot of pictures of that fencing. And it wonders me now if Samuel had that fencing, if he did it, or his son, or even that interim person that had it for 2 years. Because that fencing is just so wonderful.
Yeah. And I think there used to be a driveway over there
Well,
because the gate is still there.
yes. Outside there was another building. It wasn't a barn. It was like maybe like a 2-car garage, but it wasn't like a garage. It was that was there for a long time, and then a little alley there on this side. On the other side, the extension. I don't know about that ring outside there.
Yeah, I
If
was gonna ask you
Terzo
about
had that put in, or if that was always here, because I never went out back as a kid, and I don't know how old that is.
Yeah, I was wondering if it was a fire pit or a well.